Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Anything and Everything with Donna Lisa. I'm your host, Donna Lisa, and today I have a very special guest with me, Janice Paligutan. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Donna. It's great to be here today.
You are my very first recording of the new year, so
okay.
I'm excited. So, Janice, quickly, you're just going to run quickly through your background. You have about 25 years experience in human resources with a resort company, correct?
Yes, I was in hospitality for that long.
And you are also the owner of Millennium Dance Complex here in Las Vegas.
Yes. Exciting. A different field, but we can incorporate some of the business practices that we learned in corporate America.
And one thing that you did leave out in your bio is that you were, last season, you were actually on the High Rollers dance team for our WNBA champs, the LV Aces.
Yes, very exciting. We're a dance team that's... everyone is over 50 years old.
Right.
And it's a great time. And we love to represent the Aces.
You don't look
champions.
Like you're over 50, by the way.
Oh,
you
yes.
Look great.
Yes. Yeah. I'm going to be 55 this year. So.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. I would have never known.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks for giving that little shout out. You look amazing. You're also a grandmother of two little boys.
Yes.
That's
two grandsons.
Awesome.
Yes.
So you're definitely busy. And that's something that I didn't realize when I got on a call with you offline and was like, hey, I definitely want you to be on the show. Tell me a little bit about yourself. And you're like, yes, I'm a grandmother of two. And I was like, wait a minute, when do you fit all this stuff in aside from your full-time job, the dance studio, and being a dancer, a professional dancer as well?
Oh my gosh. It's just time management, I think. And knowing how to prioritize, right?
Yeah.
Because for me, family's first.
Right.
You know, everything else will fall in line, you know? So, but Millennium is also my second family.
Yeah.
Because that's, my daughter and I opened the business almost 7 years ago.
Okay.
And it's just an amazing dance community.
Awesome.
So that's my second family.
Yeah, no. And it's a great family. So for those of you tuning in, listening and watching on my YouTube channel, I actually started something new this year. Not really new, but getting back into it, right? I was on the dance team in high school, cheer and all that, but that was like 30 years ago. Now, fast forward, I'm like, I need to stay active. I definitely need to start, picking up another hobby. And because I don't have enough things to do, but my girlfriend, Tammy, sweet little Tammy, if you're listening, she said, you need to come to the dance class. It's fun. Everyone's sweet. Like they'll welcome you. And you guys did. And so my first class, I just actually finished my second class with you guys. First class, I was really nervous. But the amazing instructor, she's
Liz,
so,
yes.
I love her. I love her. I love the vibe, the energy in the class. And when Tammy said, you've got to meet Janice, the owner, I was like, wait a minute, she dances too? And she's like, yes. So I said, I definitely have to have her on the show. So now
kind.
Here we are.
Very kind.
Yeah.
And you did amazing, by the way.
Thank you. I'm trying to get better at being more flexible. It's hard when you haven't danced for so long and you're trying to get back into being, loose and all that stuff. So thank you very much for the opportunity to dance with you too, because you were in the class last week.
Yes, I was. I'm so happy to hear that was your first experience because my daughter Chelsea and I, that's the culture that we created at Millennium.
Okay.
We wanted every person that walked through the door to feel welcome.
Right.
And so you can be the most experienced or beginning level.
Mm-hmm.
We just wanted people to feel comfortable.
It's
very
I love
intimidating.
That. It is. And so that's the one thing that I did mention to you and Tammy in class. I was like, look, I've been to other dance classes in my younger days. And if you're just not good or you're not hitting the right beats, right, they just don't want to dance with you anymore. And they make it known. And you're like, okay, I'm not welcome. I won't come back to the next class. But everyone there was so uplifting. And you have a variety of different age groups too, all in the same class. So this is like beginner, intermediate, but you've got the young 20-year-olds, the 30-year-olds, and then you have the 40-year-olds, myself, and then the 50-year-olds. And they're all mixed in and everyone's just on the same level, which is awesome. So let's go back to when you thought, 25 years in the corporate world, which you're still in it. At what point in your career did you say, hey, Chelsea, let's just open up this dance studio? Because I know she was a dancer growing up, right?
Yes. She's the dancer.
Okay.
I'm not the dancer.
So you just got into it later?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
I never had any formal dance training. It was just my parents letting me take a tap class here and there, but I never had any formal training. But I love dance and music, My daughter's the dancer, like I said, and she had the dream.
Okay.
Well, she's a business-minded person, and she would show me videos of Millennium in LA.
Okay.
And always, showing the amazing dancers out there. And she told me as she got older, Mom, there's no place in Las Vegas once you hit 18 to dance, and Vegas needs a place like this.
Right.
And so after my corporate job, after 20 years, I retired and, I started getting bored. And so she again showed me another video and I thought, she's right.
Yeah.
The demographic, there's definitely a community here for that. So I called over to LA and made an appointment to meet the owner over there.
Okay.
And, it was a whirlwind after negotiation. And 5 months later, I found a space and we opened. Yeah.
So are you guys connected with Millennium in LA then?
Yes.
And this is a spinoff of, okay.
Yes.
So were you guys living in LA at the time?
No.
Just always here?
Always here.
And your daughter she knew of the place and was like, we need something like that out here.
Yes.
Okay.
Back in the day, Millennium LA was known for Britney Spears and the up and coming, right?
Right.
And they would dance there.
Okay.
And they were very excited to hear about the opportunity to have a location in Las Vegas.
Nice.
And, we opened and the dance community has accepted us with open arms.
That's awesome.
And we have such an amazing culture there.
Right.
But I do think it's because we have an inviting culture. It's diversified, like you said, different age levels, different ethnicities, different levels of dance.
Right. Different skill sets.
Yes. Yeah. And for whatever reason, it's a great vibe.
It is. It's kind of like, it's funny. I was texting, I think I talked to you about this. I have this group text with my cousins, right? My age. And we're like, hey, what'd you guys do this week? Or we're always texting about, so I tried this new skincare, for dark circles in your, just things like that. Okay.
Yes.
What old women talk about. And I'm like, so I started joining this dance class and they go, wait a minute, what? And I sent them, your Instagram handle. I'm like, check this place out. And they go, oh my gosh. So it's like going to the club, but not being at the club because we all love to dance. And I'm like, that's exactly what it felt like. So at the end of the day, and I almost didn't go to my first class. It was just a long, to start off the year, my grandmother passed away New Year's Day, and it was like kind of rough for everyone. I wasn't as close to her as I was as a kid, but still yet it hits the family hard. And then I had a work trip scheduled. So when they planned out her funeral, I'm like, okay, we're going to California. And then I flew home for a day and I went to Virginia for a work trip, then flew home and flew home on a Monday. And so Tammy reached out and said, hey, sissy, dance classes today, which was Tuesday.
Oh, gosh.
And I said, you know what? I'll think about it because I just got back into the office and from traveling, for a funeral and going to a convention over the weekend. And it was a lot. And then I was delayed coming home like 5 hours. So it was just a long few days. And so I thought about it and I'm like, I don't think I want to go to class today. I'm really tired. And I said, no, you know what? I told myself this year I'm going to go and I'm going to make an effort. So I showed up and it was fun. It was fun.
Good.
I have no regrets.
So
I'm glad that I went. So I did thank Tammy. I said, thank you for texting me because had she not texted me that day, I would have just worked all through the evening, like I sometimes do to catch up, and I would have just missed the class.
Yeah.
But it was very relaxing. It was almost kind of like, because I like to go get monthly massages, and I was like, oh, I feel like relaxed now. I can start my day tomorrow like, refreshed.
Yeah. It's, good music and you meet great people,
Right.
and you're having a great time, and it's a good stress reliever,
Absolutely.
So I'm so glad you came.
Yeah, I'm glad. And I noticed you guys have different types of classes, not just the hip hop classes. You also have like a heels class.
Heels, burlesque, there's ballet, all different levels. Yeah, I mean, I think there's, a couple different types of dancers. There's one that really train, they're working professional dancers.
Right.
And then others are, for hobby, for exercise, for community.
To stay active and be a part of something.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there are many times when we have some meetups after class, and get together. And it does, it helps keep you accountable.
Right.
For moving and dancing. Right. And it's actually fun to see your friends. Like you said, it's like a club.
Right.
Hey!
Yeah.
And we learn, we have a great time for an hour and chat.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's a nice balance.
So with you now being a part, so last season you were part of the High Rollers dance team.
Yeah.
Did you recruit some new dancers to join Millennium because of that?
Oh, there's been many people that have approached me and asked me about my experience. And, some of them I didn't even realize were over 50. So that's amazing, And that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to be on the High Rollers, because I did want to inspire people over 50 to keep moving, to keep dancing, because it brings joy, right? So I was really excited to hear a few people approach me and ask me about it. So there's a few people that I think are going to be auditioning for the next season. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I was telling Tammy about that. I said, honestly, I might want to do that later. And she's like, you should. She's like, you should just come. I'm not old enough yet, but I was like, sure. So she said, just start taking the classes.
Yeah.
And by the time you're ready and you're, qualified enough to try out, then you'll be prepared. And I'm like, you know what? Okay. So aside from that, though, the friendships are amazing.
Oh, yeah. The sisterhood.
It's exactly that.
Yeah.
It's a sisterhood. So
doesn't it feel good to say you're not old enough?
Well, I thought I told her that when I was talking to Tammy, I go, that's really weird. What do you mean you have to be 50 plus? And she said, that's like the rule. You can't be under 50. And I'm like, can you break the rule? Maybe 45 plus? She goes, nope. So I'm like, really? So now I got to wait 2 more years. And she said, yeah, but you know what? You'll get the experience dancing with the studio and then you can try out. My concern is because now the LV Aces are WNBA champs. So, of course, we're getting a lot more exposure. People are noticing there's a dance team, right? Now, the amount of really qualified dancers are going out now to audition.
Yes.
I'm like, okay. So the competition is getting tougher.
Yeah. I heard this year there's some really talented people auditioning. I hope so.
Yeah.
It'll highlight the team and inspire somebody else.
So are some also professional, like former professional dancers? Do you know? Okay.
Yes, we had a few on our team.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, look at Tammy. She's danced professionally when she was younger. There are several. So many inspirational women on that team.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So much talent. So, we got to bring it this year, I guess.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see. So tryouts for you guys are
sometime in March. Okay. We don't know which weekend.
And then the season, when does the season start?
I think May.
May?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys have like, is it like a couple months to practice?
Yep.
Okay.
Get a couple routines under.
And then what's
our
your
belt.
schedule like when the team travels? Do you guys travel with them
We
as well?
don't travel with the team.
Okay.
There's already scheduled games in which the High Rollers, we didn't dance at every game last season. That would have been even more crazier schedule. But we practice once a week. And then if anybody needs additional practice, they come to Millennium and
that's awesome.
Yeah, we'll have extra practices there. So it's
so
been a lot of fun.
No, I love that. So are you expanding to other, like, I know the Raiderettes, they're all professional dancers. They have choreographers there. Do you ever look to kind of scout for more people to join Millennium through those dance teams? And like the Golden Knights, they have professional dancers too.
They rehearse.
Oh, they do
our
rehearse
studio
really?
already.
Okay.
Yeah. So their season starts right away, and they've been rehearsing at our studio every week. They seem to find us,
Yeah.
And there's flexibility in our scheduling where we do have one studio that can be rented out in the evening. If you wanted to rehearse at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, you would get access to.
Do you ever get celebrities or like musicians that want to come and practice? Because I know I have a girlfriend who works for an AV company. They have
Mhm.
like a studio, stage, and all that. And the bands that come in to perform at whether it's a Super Bowl or their own concerts here in town, they will rehearse there like late night, early morning hours. Do you ever get that, phone call where they're like, "Hey, Bruno Mars is coming into town and we need a studio for him to practice"?
We've had that in the
Okay.
past. Most of the time, it's the dancers
Okay.
of the show or residency that will need
Hmm.
to come in. But yeah, they're just like any other person that walks
Right.
in will get the same VIP treatment as anybody. And, we respect their privacy and
Hmm.
what they're doing. And it's very nice when they hear about us through
Yeah.
word of mouth. There's confidentiality and
Right.
yeah.
Of course,
So
they want it to be private, right? They don't want
absolutely.
bystanders going, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
Bruno Mars's dance
Yeah.
team's there." So, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Yeah, makes
shocking when
sense.
some of my friends were asking me, I didn't know BTS was at your studio. And,
Right.
one time Christina Aguilera dropped in. Her
Really?
dancers were there rehearsing for, I think it was the Latin Grammys.
Okay.
Yeah, so she just showed up and wanted to
Wow.
check out her dancers. We've had Celine Dion in there. So there's been a
Nice.
few people, our
That's great.
first year, we didn't even have our logo up yet, and the Jabberwockies wanted to do their auditions right away at
Really?
our studio. So we're very blessed in that way.
Hmm.
It's the brand,
Yeah.
and we owe that to the LA branch, of
That's
course.
awesome.
But yeah, we're just very blessed and um, happy to serve
Right.
the Vegas community.
Well, I appreciate you guys having that, opportunity
Yeah.
for regular people like us. So, I mean, you guys having, celebrity status coming in, do you ever get people who are like, "I feel really intimidated because I'm not at that level," right?
Oh, yeah. That's why it's very important, the people at our desk that work,
Hmm.
um, they get trained on
Right.
how to greet people coming in. We meet with each one of them
Hmm.
that's hired, and Chelsea and I will always stress the culture that we
Right.
have, um, explaining to them that, you never know what anyone is going through to
Hmm.
get to that one dance class. You don't know if they've had to get a babysitter, switch their schedules around, save that $20 for the week to come
Right.
do a drop-in class, take the bus or whatever it is. So when they enter the door, we want them to feel super welcomed. And if they're new to the studio, they get a little tour,
Right.
and a friendly face to say, hey, welcome in. And then they get walked around. Here's the bathroom. Here's this. Let me know if you need anything. It is so important. Um, and whenever I say that, sometimes our staff will well up, their tears will well up
Yeah.
like, you know what? I never even looked at it that way
Right.
before. But it's one of the cultures that we're very proud of, and
Right.
I'm glad your experience was great.
It was amazing. I was actually, I mean, and so it makes sense that you train them that way because of your background in
Hmm.
HR. So it's like, you want everyone to feel welcome. Um, you do have a great culture there. I noticed that because myself coming from hospitality, I thought immediately when I met your staff and they were like, "Hi, how are you?" And, fill this out. And they were just like explaining everything, right?
Hmm.
I just thought like, wow, these people could definitely work in a hotel because
Yeah.
they're so well trained. Like they're
Yes.
very polite, just very uplifting. And every time you walk in, even last week with the second class, I walked in and I'm like, it's like they never have a bad day
Yeah. It's very
because they walked
important.
in with the same bubbly and,
Yeah.
just energy. When I walked in the first time, I'm like, okay, so every week I'm going to expect this. Yeah.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
And you're right. It probably is my hospitality
Right.
background. You know how it is. You focus on customer service, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cleanliness and customer service. I mean, I clean that studio myself too, and I spot
Wow.
check the bathrooms, the
Mm-hmm.
floors. I've
They're
got to.
very clean, by the
Oh,
way.
thank you, thank you
Well,
so
I
much.
ran
Yeah.
right after work one day, and I was like, okay, I got to change in the restroom, and I went into the restroom. I'm
Yes.
like, wow, this is really nice and clean. It's not like a regular bathroom that you use at a studio where hundreds of
Right.
people are going in and out. So yeah,
Right.
good job on that.
Oh, well, thank you.
Are you sure you weren't like a former housekeeper in your
I don't know.
previous life?
It's a form of therapy too,
Yeah.
right?
Awesome.
Yes.
So what do you guys plan to do next as far as growing your business, you and your daughter?
Well, we've talked a lot about providing performance opportunities for students because
Oh,
as being an adult
yeah.
studio, right? Maybe our students who are hobbyists, right?
Mhm.
Haven't had a chance to perform ever,
Right.
and when you're younger, you have recitals and things like that. Or if you're on a competition
Mhm.
dance studio, you compete. Well, we decided to create more performance opportunities for adults, and it's been received so well by our students.
So is it something you're going to provide at the studio or you're
We
getting them connected with other opportunities?
We've done both.
Okay.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, we had our first showcase last year.
Okay.
We do it twice a year. So summertime, like July, and then we do a winter one, which is typically October, November. And so we have a theater and it's on stage and they can invite friends and family to come see them perform.
That's cool.
So we do that. And this year we contracted with the G League, the NBA.
Okay.
And we've had auditions for timeout performances and a halftime show. And so they get, more performance opportunities.
Right.
So it's been a
Is
lot
there
of
an
fun.
age limit for that one?
No, no,
Okay.
no. It's the halftime show we did, which was
Yeah.
done by Liz. It was so much fun. And we all
That's
danced together.
great.
And most of us were
Yeah.
in her Tuesday class, and
Okay.
that's what, when you first came, I think that was the first time we all saw each other
Right.
after our halftime show.
Okay.
So it was like a reunion. We were all, hugging each other and saying hello. And,
Okay. That
'cause it
makes
was,
sense because you
yes.
guys, it seemed like you guys hadn't seen each other for a while.
Yes.
Yeah. You're like, oh my God, hi. And I was
Yeah.
like, are they like this every week?
Pretty much though.
Okay. So that explains a lot. But no, it's still, I mean,
Yeah.
like I told you, is I went one week and then went the next week and it's still the same energy. So
Yes.
it's nice that you guys don't get tired of each other.
Oh,
you
no,
like to see each
no.
other and you're happy.
Yeah.
It's almost like
absolutely.
you guys all wait for the end of the day to see each other. And you're
Oh,
like,
I do.
"Ah."
I know I do
Yeah.
personally because, when you're in corporate America, let's say it's a nice balance, right? It's like meeting a friend,
Mhm.
and you dance together, you enjoy great music,
Right.
and it's, it doesn't have to be perfection. Your movement, it's
Mhm.
how you feel, and everybody embraces that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So as far as like when you and your daughter got this started, walk me through the process of, I mean, were you just like, yeah, I don't know, it's a great idea, but I don't want to do this because it's a lot, right? There's a lot
Yes.
involved. You were retired at the time when you started
Yeah,
it, or
well,
were
she
you
started.
still working?
Yeah, she started talking about Millennium.
Okay.
When she was in high school,
Oh, really?
always showing me these videos.
Wow.
Yes, so this inspired her.
Okay.
Right, and so she danced on the Rebel Girls
Okay.
through college.
Mm-hmm.
They were national champs at that time too. So she kept on showing me videos and stuff, and after a while, you start listening, right?
Mhm.
Because she's, stressing about how the community needed a place like
Right.
Millennium. And obviously for me, it scared me to death.
Mhm.
I mean, here I was 47 years old and about to open my own business.
Right.
And to be honest, I had no previous experience on owning a dance studio.
That's scary.
It was
Yeah.
very scary, but it was that exciting scary,
Mhm.
and we had each other. And I was really focusing on, leaving a legacy, for my daughter.
Okay.
And so it was, her enthusiasm, her ambition. I could see that it was making her so excited. And I told her, are you ready not to have a day off? Are you
Right.
ready to work 7 days a week
Mhm.
and not get paid and, put in this time?
Right.
And, she was ready. And absolutely, she has been thriving. And even through her pregnancies and, the 2
Right.
kids,
Being a mom.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And an incredible funny story is that, last October we had our fall showcase.
Mhm.
We were in the tech booth and she was very pregnant.
Right.
And she was already in labor. I was rubbing her back and we made it. And the very next day,
gosh.
early morning,
Yeah.
she had to go to the hospital.
Really?
So we had to just get through that performance.
Right.
And then she had her baby.
So, oh my gosh. So
Yes.
she was working while she was also pregnant. And I mean,
With a toddler.
yeah. And then
Yes.
on top of that, it's like also you have to think about, like, were you worried? Were you concerned about, okay, do we even have instructors lined up?
Yeah, I
Like-
mean, it's just the management, right?
Yeah.
But luckily, we pre-planned.
Okay.
Knowing that she would be taking some time off,
Right.
and we have an incredible management staff.
That's great.
Everybody cares so much
Mhm.
about the space as much as we do.
Right.
It serves somewhat of a second home to a lot of people. And so they really care about the standards of the cleanliness, the customer
Right.
service, just as much as we do. So, part of that, again,
Mhm.
is really focusing on the culture and making it stick and
Right.
carrying it through and practicing what we preach. I mean, everyone knows I'm in there myself, cleaning
Yeah.
up always. So,
Do you guys ever bring the little boys
oh,
there? They're
Oh,
there
of
too, running
course.
around.
oh my gosh, my grandson who's 2, Kyrie,
Mhm.
he already is pushing that dry mop around the
Oh.
studio
Oh,
and
that's
has
so
his little
cute.
Swiffer cleaners, and
Until he realizes he's actually cleaning,
Right?
then he'll stop. It's like not so fun anymore. Yeah, that's awesome.
This is true. I think they're going to be homegrown at Millennium, both of them.
That's great. So do
Yeah.
they dance as well? Like, do they like peek in the
yes.
classes? And yeah.
Oh, yes. I can see already the interest and the music. And, it's funny, even as Bo, who's the youngest one,
Mhm.
he can sleep through the music,
Really?
because
Wow.
it's just going to be
That's
a
all
part
he
of his
heard
life.
when he was in the
Right.
room. That's probably why he's
That's
like,
right.
it's relaxing for him. Yeah.
True.
Wow. So
Yeah.
was your daughter ever one of the instructors when you guys opened, or did
Well,
you guys
she's-
just hire out?
No, she did teach a few
Okay.
classes. And she has experience with younger students.
Right.
So, but after a while,
Mhm.
running the studio, you don't have time to really teach a class.
Well, managing a business in itself is a lot.
Oh,
It's,
absolutely.
like the bookwork and,
Yes.
scheduling staff and making sure that, everything is ready for,
Mhm.
the instructors as
Yeah.
well. Like, so I can only imagine. So on top of that and having to teach a class
Right.
is a lot.
Right.
Yeah. And
We
being
make a
pregnant.
good team. Yeah. Right.
Right.
Yeah. We make a pretty good team,
Good.
very reliable. We,
Mhm.
we understand how each other, how we think.
Right.
What she can't do, maybe I'll take on, and what I can't
Okay.
do, she'll take on. And then we have such an incredible staff. So
That's great.
it's a team effort for sure.
So I'm assuming she's there during the day while you are at your full-time job. And then you head out there at night, right? In the evenings.
Right. We've got some managers that open up on certain
Okay.
days. Chelsea has the ability to work remote.
That's great.
We do a lot of Zoom and things like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I pop in at night and over the weekends, and it's
That's
always
great.
good just to be connected. Plus, I love that place so much.
Right.
I mean, how could you not be happy there? There's good music, good people, you're dancing. It's just a wonderful
It's
culture.
a fun place.
Yes.
It's definitely a fun place. So how far into the business before you actually decided, okay, I want to start learning how to be a dancer as well? Like take some dance classes.
Oh gosh, when we first opened, I would take a class whenever I could.
That's
just
fun.
for exercise
Mhm.
and being exposed to the experience,
Yeah.
and also to provide the instructor on somebody new like me
Right.
and in my age bracket,
Mhm.
right? So that our instructors can even improve on that, right? But then after about a year, I decided to go back to work into the
okay.
corporate HR world again.
Right.
Yes, because it was running itself fine. My daughter was very comfortable with
Mhm.
everything, and then I said, well, let me go back to, my
A
field.
real job.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably less stressful because you can leave that job.
yes.
And your business, it's like you always know that it's there and
Right.
you want to make sure it's running properly. So you're probably thinking about the business like 24/7.
Oh, of course. Sometimes when I first went back, I was really scared, like the control, right?
Yeah.
But as I started seeing that things were running so great, I'm so very proud of Chelsea.
That's
She
awesome.
has really done an amazing job.
Was she, can I ask, like, was she like a business major in college?
Yes, she was.
Okay.
Yes. And then she worked for Stitched.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for a short while on their leadership team. And then it was a lot of almost me training,
Right.
management practices,
I
like
think
how
that's
I
a
do
great
on a
combination.
daily.
Right. Because
Right?
you're the HR side.
Right.
And she's, the one the visionary with the
Right. With the dance ideas
and then
and
she's
strategies.
also the expert.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
That backside of you guys. So as far as you got your day to day, obviously you've kind of walked me through your day to day. I'm just curious, like her day to day, she just gets up. You guys are like in meetings and whatnot. So she doesn't physically have to be at the studio to help manage it. She's got a whole team of people.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Good for
finally
you
got
guys.
it to that point, But of course, it's our baby, right? So, and we love to be there.
Right.
So I know there are days now that she's starting to get back in there now that the kids are a little bit older. But yeah, she is, she's a rock star, And I told her this is the luxury of owning your own business,
Right.
is you can take your kids to work.
Right.
Just make sure they're not, into
Right.
everything. But yeah, they're good boys.
Or you can do what my parents did. They put my brother and I to work. So it was like
Yeah,
after
that's
school
why he's
and
got
on
that dry
weekends,
mop.
right? I know. I was like emptying ashtrays for my mom's salon. And I'm like, this is not fun. My friends are all like playing basketball. And so, yeah, but no, it's great. It's great that they see that so that they see the work ethic as well.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. So is that the only location that you guys have? That's originally where you guys started, or did you start somewhere else and then move over to that location?
No, we started off in this location.
Okay.
And then during COVID, one of the other tenants from our building left. And so we took on the extra space. So now we have 5 studios.
So you expanded the studio.
Yes.
Nice.
During COVID, which was kind of scary. Yeah, especially all the business closed
down. How
did
that work out with all the restrictions?
It was really rough. We had to close. No students for 3 to 4 months.
Got it. Okay.
Like everybody else, during that time. And then when, we were permitted to have people, but with social distancing, we marked out, spaces on the studio 7 feet apart, not just the 6.
So it limited how many people you guys could have.
Yes.
Wow.
It was interesting though, speaking of community, during COVID, there were students that would meet at the parking lot and like socialize from a distance outside.
Because they missed each other.
They missed each other from dance class.
Oh, that's so cute. Or they probably had like a little boom box and just like, let's just dance out here.
Outside.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome that they stayed connected. So I'm assuming, because we were shut down for like 18 months pretty much. And so I know people were going back into the gyms again. So then you were requiring everyone to dance with a mask. Like that must have been hard.
Yes, they were dancing with masks.
Wow.
People were still doing it. We would open all the doors, obviously, for ventilation. And the instructors would have to adjust their teaching, of course. No floor work. So we wouldn't want anybody rolling on the, on the floor.
Right.
And be very aware of the cardio side, obviously, because of the masks. We didn't want anybody to, be in harm's way in that regard. But and then we created a ingress and egress so that nobody would be, congregating in the lobby. So we had to make some adjustments, right?
Yeah.
So, that was a scary time.
And it's funny. Now we're in 2024, right? Like next month will be 4 years since this all happened. Like, I hope we don't ever go back to that again. But we're all prepared if we do.
Right.
I'm glad that your business was able to continue and you were able to expand it as well. And you know what I mean? Because a lot of businesses didn't survive.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. A lot of gyms.
Right.
A lot of, I felt very lucky that we were able to do that.
Well, and I think just having that community, because everyone likes being around each other there. So it's not like you had to go beg for people to come and support,
Yes.
patronize your business. It's
Right.
like they wanted to come back. So
Right.
that's awesome.
And we had to limit the amount of people in.
I
So it was
know,
first
it's-
come, first serve.
Okay, I was just going to ask,
Yes.
did you like have a sign-up sheet or
Yeah.
whatnot?
Well, we have a
That
program
was-
called Mind Body.
Okay.
And so you can book your class online. So if you didn't do it and it was maxed
missed out.
that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hard.
We used to get phone calls and it
Right.
just,
Like, can you
there's
squeeze
nothing we
me
can
in?
do.
Right.
Yeah. We had to keep, the safety comes first.
Yeah, for
So-
sure. Because, if you weren't abiding by those guidelines, they were going to shut you
Oh,
down.
absolutely.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
this. Such a weird
I
time.
know.
God, it's so nice to know that we're not there anymore. So do you guys have plans to expand to get another location in the future?
We haven't really discussed that yet because we're in a comfortable space right
Right.
now. And it would be difficult to for 1 week, go to a different location.
Right.
And we're very central. So we really like our location, but we're just trying to think of other ways to
Right.
offer, different types of classes maybe and
Okay.
these performance opportunities.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not sure if we're ready to open another one.
Sometimes it's good it's just to keep what you have because I
Yeah.
know when you scale too fast and too large, things kind of like who's to say that the next location is not going to have the same energy
Exactly.
as your location or the same friendly staff. It's
Right.
hard and it's
It
hard to
is
monitor
harder.
that when you're having to run back and forth to different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, well, no, that's great. I like what you guys have now. I think what you have is amazing. And adding more to, I think the opportunities that you're adding is great because that's definitely something I do see, people taking classes going, okay, so I'm taking classes, like what's next?
Right.
Where do I take this skill set from here?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And, you still get the audition
Right.
experience.
Right.
And then you get the performance experience. And even if you're not training to be a professional
Mhm.
dancer, it's still a lot of fun. You're in
Right.
dance class every week. And so
Mhm.
this is kind of like your recital,
Right.
Yeah.
And I wonder for the instructors, I don't know what's harder, teaching 40 plus women
know.
trying to dance and break their bad habits or teaching the younger kids who know nothing about dance. I thought about that when I was in the class. I was like, I wonder what would be more difficult to teach, the younger kids or the older, stubborn
I know.
women who are set in their ways.
I know. When we would have dance rehearsal for high rollers,
Mhm.
we always had a lot of questions. Do we do this? Do we do
Right.
that? Do you want our when do we look? Is it so we
Right.
wanted specifics, whereas I think when you're younger, you go with the flow a little bit more,
Right.
right? And as you get older, you're somewhat of a perfectionist. You want to get it done
Mhm.
right. And so I've noticed the differences in going to Millennium's classes or doing the high rollers because we're
Right.
very specific on
Right.
where do you put your arm? Where do you,
Mhm.
yeah. So it's, I don't know. That's a good question. We should do a
Do a survey.
a
ask
survey
ask
on
your
the instructors. What's easier? It'd be sad if they said the
Yeah,
younger
the
ones
younger
are
ones.
easier.
Well, because they always say they've done studies. Children don't complicate things, right? Adults,
Right.
we do, and it's I know, in my line of work too, we always say it's always easier to hire somebody with no experience and mold them to what you want to be than hiring someone with a ton of experience who's set in their ways
Right.
and doesn't want to mold to what your company is, looking for, right?
It's so true.
Yeah, it goes both ways. I can
Yeah.
definitely see that.
Yeah, I could see it too.
Yeah. So I'm curious to know, what motivates you, to get up every day and do what you do. Do you have a daily routine, or is there a daily affirmation that you like to wake up to? And
Well, when the kids were young and, you're
Mhm.
getting them off to school and everything, I used to always tell them, just be yourself. And we have it painted on the wall at Millennium
yeah,
because we just want everybody just to be themselves, And also, for my staff in HR, I always say, just do your best. Just do your best every day,
right.
and it's going to be fine. Just
Be
do
the
your
best version of you.
Yeah, the older I get, the more I really believe this,
Yeah.
because if you're kind in your heart and you always have good intentions towards others,
Hmm.
the output, it's so easy, right?
Right.
So, my daughter inspires me. The students inspire me. I'm always inspired by them. The
That's great.
courage they have to try a different class, whereas I would be probably scared to take that
Right.
class. And I see people just going for it. And it truly inspires me because everybody has a story there,
Yeah,
you
that's
know? And when
true.
you hear the backstory and get to know each person,
Hmm.
I just find them so inspiring. And that's what gets me up because, you know, I'm providing, you know, this space that people meet each other, make new friends. And, you know, everybody wants to be a part of something.
It's like a safe space and there's no
Yeah.
judgment. I noticed that. So everyone's high five. I love
High
that.
five, full of
Liz,
support.
yeah, like the instructor is always like, high five somebody that you don't even know. So
Yeah.
I'm like looking at a stranger going, high five, good job, because
Yeah.
they all do a great job. Sometimes I'm like, I don't belong in this class, but they're so very welcoming. And it's like, it's okay if you miss a step, just pick
Keep
up and
going.
yeah, keep
Yeah.
going.
Keep going
Yeah,
and have a good time.
right.
That's the whole point of it.
That's
And you do
awesome.
feel good when you leave, you know?
I definitely feel like a sense of accomplishment. I'm like, oh, I learned a routine today.
Yeah.
Awesome. After a hectic work week. So,
Yes.
yeah, it's definitely rewarding. I
Right.
know that much. I know they did last class, they invited everyone. Hey, we're going to go have some cocktails
Yeah.
afterwards across the street, whatnot. No pressure, but the opportunity was there to join them. So it was nice that they include everyone. There's no like click, even though
Right.
you've got dancers from, like the high rollers, or you have people who have taken other classes and stick with each other. They're just inclusive. Everyone there just includes everyone. So
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that.
I love
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
I love that too. The people there are so fun and supportive of each other.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm doing something new this year. I'm asking some of my guests. I don't know how long I'm going to do this, but so do you have a word for the year? Because like my word starting off in the year is collaboration, like just
I like
collaborating with
that.
a lot of just like-minded people or just even strangers, who can
Yeah.
kind of either elevate your career or just your passion to the next level. Do you
Mhm.
have a word
Mhm.
for the year that you started off with?
Well, obviously, businesses always will set goals in
Hmm.
January, right? Well, not just businesses. I think people in general, there's, their New Year's resolutions and
Yeah.
things like that, right? But for businesses, I mean, this year, my team, it might not be one word, it's leveling up.
Yeah, I like that.
That's what my focus is in for my HR teams
Hmm.
this year because I told them everybody's doing a great job.
Right.
Obviously, the resort that I worked at, we're number one in our whole
Nice.
organization. Medallia scores, customer service level,
Right.
everything. And but there's always something that you can do to level up, improve efficiencies, maybe improve response
Hmm.
time for questions and things
Right.
like that. So that's been my focus. It's very simple,
Yeah.
and I've asked my team, the people that work for me, what is one thing that you know that you can level up?
Right.
There's always going to be
Yeah.
something
Whether it's in your professional life or
or
like
personal.
personal. Yeah. No,
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah. So I think it might not be one word, but
Right.
yeah, I think that's kind of what we're doing too.
That's
It's,
awesome. Yeah.
yeah. I love this. I love collaboration. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
no, I like it because I just think about how everyone kind of, a lot of entrepreneurs that I know, they're always collaborating with other entrepreneurs to try to like elevate their, experience in their business, right? And I like that. So I'm
Yes.
seeing it a lot more, which is nice. So
Yes.
thank you
Even
for
even the
sharing that.
instructors are
Yeah.
doing that
Oh,
because
are they
yes,
really?
they're
Okay.
called collab classes. So there'll
Nice.
be, maybe two instructors that
Teaching the
collaborated.
class.
They've
Okay.
come up with an
So
amazing choreography
it's kind of
and
like two different dance styles then.
yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So it's actually a good way to sample
Hmm.
another instructor's style
Okay.
and then they can go take their class,
Yeah. That's
So yeah,
cool.
so I think
Yeah.
collaboration is great.
Love it.
Yeah.
So, if you could give anybody a piece of advice, anyone starting, whether it's just a dance studio, just any business, and terrified of what to start, right? Or even if to start, what advice would you give them?
Well, you definitely have to be ready to work,
Right.
right? It's not an easy path.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of social media will show people showing
the highlights,
the highlights of their,
of like a 10-year
yes.
Right.
It takes a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
It doesn't come overnight. And don't give up.
Right.
Keep going. Especially if you're passionate about the business that you're going to provide or the service you're going to provide. Don't give up. If something doesn't work, adjust it. Because that's what we did. We tried different things and made decisions to pivot. And you can't just get discouraged
if something doesn't work.
Something doesn't work. But this is the era of, instant gratification and, all that social media shows. But you got to be able to put in the work.
Nobody sees the amount of work that you do and not knowing, like I wouldn't have known that this is something your daughter was talking about for years.
Oh, yes.
After graduating college and saying, Mom, we need to do this because she has such a passion for it.
Yes.
So love that she was very persistent with you. And you started this because, look, I would have never met you.
Yes.
I would have never, thought about going back to a dance class because Tammy's one of your students there. So
we owe that to Tammy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tam.
I know. I love her. She's amazing. She's always, and I can tell you, she's so positive. Like, we need more people like her in our lives, right?
I know
because she's so uplifting. When I told her, I said, girl, everything hurts every morning, since having gone through cancer treatments and whatnot. And she's like, no, sissy, just come. Like, you'll love it. And I'm like, okay. I'm just going to have to rub a lot of my magnesium cream the next morning, take some ibuprofen, but okay. And you know what? It's fine. I mean, the pain that I wake up to in the morning, it was actually worth it. So,
You are so inspiring. The more I learn about you, Donna, the more I'm inspired by you.
You're so sweet. No, and I'm inspired by you as well. Just knowing that, you can listen to your daughter who's much younger than you to step out of your comfort zone and get this business started.
That's hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
It's really hard, right? And then you have to listen to the ideas and not take over as a mom and make the decisions.
Like, how do you guys balance being business partners? Because that's really what you are.
Yeah, we really are.
Mom and daughter.
We are true business partners.
Right.
There are moments when we'll shift it. Right. She'll start asking me advice on the kids or something like that. But we respect each other's opinion. And I have to put her in that category of a business partner.
Was that hard in the
beginning? In the beginning, but she adds so much.
That's great.
So then I, of course, immediately respected her for her input, So, yeah.
And you guys are thriving. I mean, the business is doing well for you. I'm excited. I mean, your family's growing, which is great. Future dancers, bringing it in the company. So that's awesome.
We are very blessed. Yeah. We really are.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time out on your weekend to join me in your busy schedule, because I know you're busy. You're probably you're babysitting the boys last night, so I know you must be tired.
We're going through a potty training stage too, so
that's always fun.
Yes.
Just bribe them with a lot of toys and stickers on that potty chart. I remember those days.
Right.
Yeah. Well, again thank you so much for taking an hour of your day to be with us and share your story, because I think you have a great story to share.
I appreciate you asking me to come on. Definitely. Thank you. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Well, you enjoy the rest of your weekend,
Thank
and
you.
I will see you in class this week.
I love it. Let's dance.
Awesome.
All right.
Bye-bye, Janice.
Thank you.
Thank you.